Good morning, Oracles. Yesterday was not a great day for Tesla. I've actually been encouraged to change my backdrop here to something more of like a rodeo because my backdrop here encourages bears versus a rodeo which would encourage bulls. So I don't know if it's going to help, but I am working on changing my backdrop because it's been here for a while, and I appreciate all of you guys because we've gone through some journeys with this as our backdrop. So I'll be changing that up soon. But Tesla was down, 8.5%. So we did not hit under 620. 620 is the level I am paying attention to because that is our last low that we have hit. So if we do end up breaking below 620, the next level I'm going to pay attention to is 600 because that is going to be a psychological level. Then below that is going to be 570 because we have a gap that goes down to 572. So these are the levels that I'm looking at. I'm still holding my dollar cost average strategy as it is for right now at $15 every single day. I have made adjustments in the extras that I add along the way because we've been hovering in this area for a little while now. So I still added a little bit today around 655, but I'm going to slowly pay attention to see what's going on because I just have this gut feeling that we're going to keep coming down a little bit further before we make any sort of bottom. So I'm just kind of holding more cash. I've changed my dollar cost average strategy for other stocks to be able to save up more cash for the future. And I can utilize that to add a little bit more to Tesla. So I'm still going to be able to get to my 10 shares prior to the split, no problem. Might actually get to 12 shares. So we'll see how much further we do come down. That would help me to add more. And now, yesterday we did talk about the price increases that Tesla had on their vehicles. And it's crazy because, there's an article I saw that was posted about, Tesla's down because they raised prices on their vehicles, which is crazy because in the past, every time they've raised prices of vehicles, the market touted it and it did well. So this is how the media just manipulates things and puts out headlines for whatever to justify reasons why a stock is falling. It's crazy nonsense. The entire market was down. The Nasdaq was down 4%. So Tesla being down 8.5% is pretty normal for that amount of a drop in the Nasdaq. So looking at things like this, the way I look at the price increases for the fundamentals, especially going into what could be an ugly recession that we're about to go into, many questions come up are how is Tesla going to be able to handle a recession? Well, let's look at other companies that are out there. Ford already announced that they are not making any profits on their Mach E anymore. So they've got to get profits from their legacy auto and their parts. And when it comes to Tesla, this gives them major pricing power. So they raise prices because they're anticipating 6 to 12 months down the road, the cost of their goods to produce these vehicles are going to go up. They're also anticipating higher demand. So they're trying to shrink down this demand window to be able to get it closer to, a real-time demand price to cost ratio. And so by doing this, they're going to give themselves major pricing power in the future. They're already over 30% margins on their vehicles. They don't need to be at that level, but this is where they want to be. This gives them a massive cushion of room to be able to wiggle around. So as we get into times with a potential recession going on, the people who normally buy Teslas now can afford Teslas even if we hit a recession. But if we get to a deep recession, there may be cancellations on orders. There may be people who are like, you know what, I don't need the vehicle, so I'm going to opt to kick the can down the road, maybe not buy it right now. Less orders may come in. And Tesla would then have the room where if they do have a log, that's not a year long, if all of a sudden demand starts shrinking down to 6 months or 4 months or 3 months, then they could be like, you know what, demand is shrinking. We can bring the prices down, which will increase demand because prices are coming down on their vehicles. This is why the pricing power is so vitally important for a company going into times like this, because they have the room to be able to create demand by lowering prices, but still keeping profits high. And then Tesla, I do feel in my gut that they are holding this ace in the hole. They are holding this compact car that they are working on that nobody knows about. And it's going to end up being much like the Model 3 back in 2018. Because back then, they were at a point where they're a very high-end luxury vehicle. They needed something more for the masses to get them to the next level. That was the Model 3. They have since come out with the Model Y, which is very much like the Model 3, but just a better version of it for just a little bit more money. So they have now put out the Model Y, which is, in Tesla's eyes, going to become the best-selling vehicle in 2023. So if they do this, and the Model Y is doing that in 2023, if they start to run into some demand issues come the end of 2023, hey, by the way, folks, we have a compact car that's sub $30,000. Oh, now we've hit the next wave of a mass of people to be able to hit this huge and even larger population, which is then going to blow demand right back up again. But they don't want to do that now. They can't do it. They're already so heavily in demand that doing anything that would make people want their vehicles more would actually be detrimental to their business. So they've got this ace in the hole and a lot of timing that is going to work out very well for them, where if they hit any point of demand slowing down, they have so many tools at their disposal to be able to bring demand back up. It's just these little things that they have going, which is why you pay attention to the fundamentals and the things that the company is doing to get themselves to where they need to go, and you look 1, 2, 5 years down the road, and you can see the pieces that they have already in play to be able to tackle these problems. And again, this is how Tesla handles things. They look 20 years down the road and play the game backwards. So they do it all along the way. So already looking out 3 years down the road, hey, where are we going to see the demand cliff fall off? What can we do to get to that point to bring demand back up and keep demand high as it is right now? So when Tesla says they foresee 50% year-over-year growth for the foreseeable future, it's because they have planned out every single hiccup along the way that could come. Competition is coming. Well, what's competition going to be coming with? They're going to be coming with lower-end vehicles. All right, well, Tesla's going to have a lower-end vehicle. Sure, they haven't announced it yet. You've got to have faith that they are going to announce it and be able to come through it with it. I do. So you can let me know in the comments below if you think they're going to be able to come through with this. We know that they have the robotaxi that is coming in 2024, and that will be more of a mass transit type vehicle. Now let's play out a recession type scenario. We hit a recession, people can't afford vehicles. Like right now, they keep on cranking up the diesel and gas prices and people are like, oh, we'll just go buy an EV. First off, it ain't that easy. I'm all for EVs going forward. I would love to see this world transition to renewable energy tomorrow. It's not realistic. It can't happen overnight. It's going to take at least 5 years to really get a hold of this and switch over. So that's not realistic. Not only that, but your wait time is at least a year, most likely, to get an EV. So we can't get there. So what happens in the next couple of years? Well, if we hit a recession and people can't afford vehicles, how are they going to travel around? Well, guess what? They could take mass transit. Guess what? We have robo-taxis, which are significantly less expensive than taking a train or a bus or the subway. So now people can start riding in robo-taxis to get around. Guess who's got those? Tesla. Guess who's making profits on those? Tesla. So sure, the demand for the vehicles might come down because people can't afford them because we're going into dire economic times. But if we get to that point, people are going to have an option, and Tesla has the solution. And so yes, the stock price may come down further, but I'm still going to accumulate as many shares as possible because I don't know what the stock price is going to do, but I do know what the company is going to do. The company is going to be building its fundamentals stronger and stronger every single quarter, except for maybe Q2 because it was a tough quarter. But we are going to continue to get stronger and stronger, and Tesla has solutions going forward. Tesla's not even in a lot of markets around the world. They're not even in the compact car market yet. We haven't even gotten there. There are so many areas that Tesla isn't even in yet, and they're already dominating all of the areas that they are in. So when we get to a compact car area, they can start dominating that. Yes, there's a lot of other vehicles that are out there that are coming from GM and Ford that could go into those areas, but those companies have already told us that with their higher end vehicles, they're not profitable. So even if they get there, and VW, according to Bloomberg, is going to overtake Tesla by 2025 when it comes to vehicles, EVs sold, but they also said that they're not going to be anywhere near as profitable, and by 2026, they're going to be in the negative because they cannot make profitable vehicles. Tesla, on the other hand, as we've spoken about before, can make profits at 1/5 of the amount of vehicles that GM needs to sell. So if Tesla sells 1 million vehicles, GM would need to sell 5 million just to make the same amount of profits. This is how Tesla's operating. This is why they are going to be the best in the future going forward. And this doesn't even take into account the robo-taxi revenue. This is just plain old EV sales alone. And then you start putting in, FSD to go along with it. You put insurance to go along with it. You've got energy that is also growing. So lots of things that do still need to play out for Tesla in the future, but that's all just extra on top of the EV market that they are already dominating. And so I think the next year is going to be very big for Tesla. We're going to get a lot of announcements coming out. And I mean, think about it. 2022 has it right in the name, 2022. It's just dropping deuces on us. That's just how the year is playing out. I mean, we should have known. It has it right in the numbers. And scaling for Tesla, scaling is boring. Be realistic. It's way more exciting what we're going to see in 2023, where we have all sorts of new exciting products coming out. Look at what's going to be going on in the future. Right now, it's just drab day-to-day scaling, producing. It's kind of boring, and the stock price is boring, and the market is crashing. And so it's not the exciting, euphoric news that we have, which we will see in 2023. Let me know in the comments below, how much further down do you think Tesla stock is going to fall, and when do you think we are going to make this turnaround? What do you think the impact of robo-taxis are going to have on the market when we get to 2024? Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate all of your support and feedback. If you have not subscribed, please do so down below. Sign yourself up for notifications. I am over on Twitter at OracleTim1. I share all of the latest Tesla news, pertinent stock market information, and all of my daily trades. We do have a Discord chat. That link is in the description. And if you'd like to support the channel any further, I do have a Patreon as well. That link is also in the description. Thank you so much. Have a great one.